And a good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Union Catholic live stream and UC Sports Media for today's JV Girls Basketball Union County Tournament quarterfinal matchup featuring the Union Catholic Vikings and the Cranford Cougars. I am Mr. Aranio, and I'm joined today on set by Jack Jablonowitz, Ryan Florick, Andrew Murphy, and Saeed Coburn are behind the scenes working tech. Today's county quarterfinal game features the third-seeded Vikings and the sixth-seeded Cougars. Cranford defeated 11th-seeded Kent Place in the first round of the tournament, and UC had a bye into today's quarters. The Vikings and the Cougars have not met this season, and both are eager to earn a spot in the semifinals of the UCT. The JV Vikings have had a spectacular 2023-2024 campaign and enter today with a 12-1 record. Coach Jack, this is a single elimination scenario. A berth in the county Final Four is on the line. What are the keys to the Vikings coming out victorious today?
I think the biggest thing out of what you said is that they haven't played before. I think that's the biggest thing, is that they're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. I think the first quarter is going to be kind of like an unfamiliarity. I think they need to get everything out, the kinks out. And in the second quarter, it's going to be more of like, let's see how the coach make an adjustment. So I cannot wait to see what the coaches do making adjustment-wise.
So we are underway as the Vikings win the tip. They're wearing blue today. Cranford is in white. Again, the Vikings are the third seed, had a bye into today's quarters. UC turns it over. And there's a foul. It's going to be on Charlotte Donnelly.
Good aggressive defense jumping on the pass to start this game. For Cranford, just got to get in the passing lane to start this game. You don't know each other, so let's see what they can do in the passing lanes, see if they can jump some passes.
And there's a bucket for Cranford on their first possession. That's Sienna DeStefano, the freshman. Assist to Fiona Wu, who's a sophomore. Olivia Urbafina passes to Charlotte Donnelly. Jackie Williams, and there's a foul. That's going to be on the Cougars, number 23, Vanessa Kelly, sophomore, her first. So Jacqueline Williams goes to the line for UC. The lefty puts it up, makes the first.
Yeah, she's kind of the star for this team. I mean, she plays a little bit in varsity, but she's mostly a JV player, and she's very good. And she can put the ball in the basket. She gets a lot of players open. I think that's what her biggest strengths are, and she plays aggressive defense. And I think that's what to expect from her going this game.
And she makes both free throws. That's going to be so key today. It always is, but particularly in a tournament game to make your shots at the charity stripe. Into the corner. Sienna DeStefano handles at the top of the key. Sydney Kessler had stolen. Here comes Jackie Williams. And ball's knocked out of bounds.
What I would weirdly say about Jackie is that whenever I watch her play, she draws a lot of fouls as she comes out. But she draws a lot of fouls, and that's one of the things that I look at her, and she can get a lot of contact on her drives and finish.
Olivia Urbafina misses that shot. Rebound. And we have a traveling violation as Madison Farrell grabbed the rebound but traveled. Sienna DeStefano passes to Casey Kuhn. That shot looked like it was deflected. Olivia Urbafina, the freshman. That ball's loose. And that is a travel.
Yep. She picked up her foot and then put it back down. I know it's hard to see, especially if you're a fan of the Cougars, to see that foul, of course. To see that travel, of course. But she did go down. It was a great play to get a steal and go, but at the end of the day, it was a travel. But it was a good move.
Bella Donnelly loses the handle. Casey Kuhn to the basket, puts it up. She's fouled.
She has really gotten the passing lane so far, and I've seen Cranford really, like make the most out of what UC is kind of doing on the perimeter. And I feel like they need one pass inside to try to get the inside as fast as possible. So because Cranford Cougars are really active when it comes to getting the ball at the perimeter.
So Casey Kuhn gets the roll there. Give Cranford a 3-2 lead. Foul is on Olivia Urbafina, her first, second team foul for Union Catholic. And the second shot is good, so 2 for 2. So again, free throw shooting going to be really important in today's county quarterfinal matchup as Olivia Urbafina dribbles up. Charlotte Donnelly to Urbafina, who goes to the basket, puts it up, misses. Rebound is...
That was a good run play. Olivia got open. I know she didn't finish it, but those are the kind of plays where I talk about Cranford does not really know the plays, so she's going to get open shots.
Outside shot there's good. That's Layla Santana with a foot on the line. And an early timeout for Union Catholic. So, Coach Jack, what would you be saying right now in the huddle to the Vikings as they trail early on by 4?
So the girl was just left wide open. I think they didn't really understand the kind of keys of what she's going to do. She's going to shoot the ball. And I feel like UC kind of understood that. And Coach Green was mad, as she should be, because she was left wide open. But it was kind of like, hey, do we know this girl? Do we know how this girl shoots? Do we know if this girl is more of a driver? Like, that's kind of unfamiliarity. But I still think there's no excuse. I think you definitely need to close out. But again, the turnovers leading to those kind of stuff that, as I said in the kind of varsity boys game, 2-on-1s are very important with freshmen. I forgot 2-on-1s are very important. Like
you got to capitalize on those situations.
And Cranford looks very like smart in what they can do on the 2-on-1. And they practice that. I think there's some 2-on-1 drills people do. I know I've done it whenever I play basketball, 2-on-1 drills. So it definitely shows off the hard work and practice. Yep. Putting into the game.
Getting out in transition. So are there any defensive adjustments, specific X's and O's type of adjustments you would make if you were the Vikings right now?
I mean, a lot of the baskets have been in transition, so I would say take care of the ball. I don't even think it's on defense. It's just more take care of the ball. And if you turn over the ball, I think you just got to get back. You can't put your head down. You got to just put your head down and run back.
So Urbafina dribbles up for UC. Kaylee Benaria back to Urbafina as the Vikings swing it on the perimeter. What are you seeing defensively for Cranford? As a three-pointer's up and Benaria misses, rebound. A nice job there by Bella Donnelly. Gets the rebound and puts it up off the glass. Cranford leads by 2.
See, they're really up into the grill defensively. I feel like Cranford's here trying to bring 2. I think they're going to give him some shots, but I think whenever somebody catches the ball kind of at the top of the key, they're going to bring 2. And I think Union Catholic has to kind of get in the paint, as I said, try to find the paint, try to find the girl posting over the paint and see if they can work out of that if she draws 2.
And that shot is no good by Sydney Kessler, freshman for Cranford. Urbafina quick the other way. She goes up, some contact, no call. Charlotte Donnelly loses the handle, so a turnover, and then Urbafina gets it back, and she's fouled.
That 50-50 ball, as you said, free throws count, but those also count. Those 50-50 balls, as I say, that's going to really win or lose you a game when the ball is kind of on the floor.
So foul on Sydney Kessler, her first for Cranford. Cranford has 2 team fouls. Urbafina inside to Bella Donnelly. As again, the Vikings swing it on the perimeter. Jack, what defense is Cranford in right now?
See, one of my things is that they're bringing a double every single time number 13 Donnelly gets the ball in the paint. So they don't want to give it those paint points. And they're going to try to force them to, swing the ball on the perimeter, which they've done pretty well, but I think Cranford will live with that.
And that ball's on the ground. Bella Donnelly gets it out to Urbafina.
As I said, 50-50 balls.
Benaria for 3 from the wing, no good. Rebound there. Urbafina, jump shot, no good. Ball's on the ground. Cranford comes away with it. And there's a turnover. I think there's some jitters early on in this game from both sides.
Yeah, because I think Cranford getting some good looks off of transition. but they're just not capitalizing. And I think, and also the Vikings just they haven't seen Donnelly get number 13 Donnelly get good post position and get double, so they need to see how they can work out of that.
Charlotte Donnelly, and we're going to have a held ball, possession out of Cranford. So Cranford with a 2-point lead, 5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. UCT quarterfinals. Sienna DeStefano around the pick, goes, and she's fouled. That's on the floor, so no free throws. Cranford will inbound on the baseline.
Yeah, Union Catholic, they were trying to bring 2 on the drive. They were really in the gaps, and they were just letting them shoot, they were just bringing over 2, and that came with a foul, because they weren't there in time. But, that kind of shows that they're going to be taking with every single 3 that Cranford's get. They're going to stand and be like, hey, if you make them, congrats. If you don't, well, we won that possession. That's
a second foul for Olivia Urbafina, so she sits down. Nea Lucoma, the junior, comes in for UC. Possession stays with the Cougars. That layup's no good. Ball's on the ground. We have another held ball. It's going to go to the Vikings.
Good job winning that 50-50 battle. It helps that you had the jump ball, but just getting on the floor, giving yourself an opportunity. Even if you probably wouldn't know if a player, if you had the ball or not, because, in the mind, you're just trying to play basketball. You don't know who has the jump ball or not. You just got to get on the floor, make it tied up. Maybe it is your ball, so that's what you're thinking.
Charlotte Donnelly, that ball's deflected. It's at half court, and we're going the other way. That's a travel. So we've seen a few turnovers from both teams early on.
Yeah, she tried to fend off the defender, but it was like she fended it off after she took 2 steps. So I feel like you need to fend off the defender a little bit before you take those steps.
And there's a reach-in foul. It's going to be on Casey Kuhn, her first.
See, some of those turnovers, I don't see the idea, but that one I saw it. I saw what she was trying to do, try to shield off the defender and get an easy layup, but she took a little bit too much steps before she did that.
Madison Farrell gets it to Benaria. Benaria skip pass to Charlotte Donnelly, who puts up a 3, no good. Ball's on the ground in the corner. Bella Donnelly. Charlotte Donnelly loses the handle. We got a scrum in the paint. Farrell puts it up, no good. And Cranford comes away with it. Outlet pass. DeStefano behind the back. Oh, nice pass. Shot's no good, though. And Farrell has it for Union Catholic. Charlotte Donnelly into the corner. Benaria for 3. That's off the side of the backboard, out of bounds to Cranford.
Yeah, I mean, Cranford had a good look. I mean, she got her on the ground. She kind of shielded her off, so she was on the ground, and they had a good opportunity back there. And it was like, those are the kind of possessions where you need to finish off. And I feel like the coach is going to look at that and be like, hey, those are possessions you kind of need to finish off if you want to win these type of games.
Number 12, Fiona Wu, a sophomore, has checked in the game for Cranford. Wu has it. Picked up her dribble, defended tightly by Lucoma. Vanessa Kelly has it for Cranford. Top of the key, pulls up, 3-pointer, no good. Rebound, Kaylee Benaria. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Lucoma tries to drive baseline, gets it, nice pass to Donnelly, no good. Rebound, Cranford. Again in transition, Jack. That layup's no good. Ball's in the paint. Farrell gets it. Here comes Charlotte Donnelly. Fast-paced game.
Yeah.
And it's stolen again. So we're seeing a lot of transition, but then we're seeing a lot of steals. And that ball is thrown right into the hands of Bella Donnelly. And there's a turnover. We got an injury timeout. Boy, Jack, this is a frantic pace. Do you think both teams need to slow it down a bit?
Yeah, but I think when you push the ball, I think you have to take the negativity out of it. Like, you have to take the positive and the negative. You weigh those two. and I think you're going to turn the ball over if you push the ball. But it's the coach's decision to be like, hey, do you think that we get enough to be like, hey, we should keep doing it and live with the turnovers, or no? You hate the turnovers, you want to switch it.
Time winding down first quarter. And that's going to end the first quarter. So a low-scoring first period here in this county quarterfinal matchup. Cranford 6, Union Catholic 4. So, Jack, we saw a very quick, as I said before, frantic pace getting out in transition, both teams. So let's take it for both teams. Is it a matter of slowing the game down, or is it a matter of keep pushing, keep going in transition, but just got to take care of the ball better and make better decisions with the basketball? What would you tell both Union Catholic and Cranford?
I think there's some kind of passes where you just throw the ball to the other team. Like, it's like easy, just you throw the ball to the other team. I feel like you can limit that even in transition. I feel like you can limit that but still be in transition. You don't need to throw the ball to the other team, right, to the other team. Like, you can, like those passes where you throw it out of bounds, like maybe you try to bounce pass to somebody in transition and it go out of bounds. That's normal. That's transition. But those just throw the ball to the other team is something you can limit. And I think that you as a coach, as I said, you kind of need to weigh it and be like, do we like what we're seeing enough to be like, we'll take the turnovers, or we're going to be like, let's slow it down, let's get into our offense. But I don't know if Coach Green liked enough, like what she saw in the half-court sets, to be like, we should keep going back to it. But, I mean, if the game slows down, I have trust in the Vikings to be able to run their sets, and same with Cranford. And, again, as I said, they're going to learn each other's sets, but they haven't really learned each other's sets yet because we're just pushing the ball up and down.
Yeah, and it's definitely a factor they haven't played each other, right? It's a lot different when you've seen an opponent before. This is the first time that Union Catholic and Cranford are playing this year. So you're getting a feel for your opponent here, and then I'm sure that the teams will particularly make adjustments at halftime based off of what they see in this first half. But we got another quarter to play before we get to halftime. So Cranford inbounds to start the second quarter. They have a 2-point lead. And a deflection there.
Do you think that that's going to be harder to kind of like know what kind of sets you're going to try to run if they're going to keep going back and forth in transition? Do you think it'll kind of be like, oh, what sets are they actually running, because we don't know yet, because there's going to push the ball
it's been
up
tough
and
to
down.
identify so far because there's been so much play in transition. Teams are on the break, which Union Catholic's do it again. Farrell tripped but got it off to Benaria, who dribbles, puts it up, no good. Jackie Williams is there, offensive rebound and putback. She ties the game at 6.
We haven't seen her in a long time, but we know the impact she brings when she goes back in the game. Good rebound there from Jackie.
Vanessa Kelly to Stefano, guarded by Farrell. Cranford being patient in this possession. Oh, nice pass and nice ball movement. So that foul is going to be on Jacqueline Williams, her first. And that's the Vikings' first foul of the second quarter. Yeah,
it kind of caught her by surprise, and I think also she doesn't really know does the defender like to cut. I mean, does my offensive player like to cut that I'm guarding? She just got caught like napping because she didn't know.
Three-pointer is good. That's Sienna DeStefano, the freshman for Cranford. Cougars back on top. They lead by 3. 1 minute gone by in the second quarter, and we have a foul on the floor. That's the second foul on Casey Kuhn for Cranford. She'll have a seat. So both teams have a player with 2 fouls. Olivia Urbafina picked up her second in the first quarter. Jackie Williams, another offensive rebound, misses off the glass. Cranford secures possession. Jackie Williams almost has a steal there. Good anticipation.
You can already see what she brings to this team in the defensively. Just being able to jump those passes, and if Cranford wants to turn the ball over, she's gonna be all over that ball. She's gonna be all over that ball in the passing lane. She's gonna eat every single time. Like, she's gonna have a feast if they're gonna keep throwing the ball to her in the passing lanes.
And that ball's intercepted by Kaylee Benaria, who gets it to Jackie Williams, who goes up strong, no good. Benaria almost came down with it. Ball goes out of bounds and stays with the Vikings. Charlotte Donnelly gets it in to Williams. Out to Farrell, top of the key. Bella Donnelly to Charlotte Donnelly. Benaria for three. No good off the rim. Secured by Cranford. Sienna DeStefano back the other way. Three-pointer's good. DeStefano from the corner. And Cranford has a 6-point advantage. And there's a foul as Farrell is tripped. That's going to be on Layla Santana, the sophomore for Cranford, her first. Cranford has 2 team fouls. Charlotte Donnelly to Jackie Williams, and we're going to have a held ball. Possession will stay with the Vikings. Jack, what do the Vikings have to do now to get more going offensively? There's a block. Farrell put the shot up. It was blocked by Layla Santana.
I think just getting easier looks inside. Like, you don't need to take threes. Like, you can get easier looks inside and try to get the ball inside. And maybe now you can take threes if you try to draw some defenders. But you got to first throw it inside to see what the defense kind of reacts to it.
Madison Farrell gets it to Bella Donnelly. Charlotte Donnelly in the corner. Cranford in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a Union Catholic team that hasn't shot the ball so well this first half.
Bella Donnelly puts it up, no good. Here comes Cranford in transition. DeStefano. Shot is up off the rim. That was Layla Santana with the shot. Jackie Williams, quick the other way. There's contact, and she is fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Good attack by her. She was too fast for the defender to try to take a charge, and she kind of beat her off the dribble, so she had nothing to do but the foul.
Second foul for Vanessa Kelly. Cranford has 3 team fouls here in the second quarter. Williams misses that one. She made 2 in the first quarter. And we're going to get a timeout from Cranford. A full timeout for the Cougars. So, Jack, Vikings trailing by 6. What are you focusing on at this timeout? Are you focused on X's and O's of the game? You focus more on just relaxing and more the mental aspect of the game?
Well, I think it's a little bit of, more a mental aspect because you're getting these good steals. But it's more of like you're thinking you want this big play where you could just make the extra pass. And I think you're going for the home run instead of going for, the single, as we would put in baseball terms. And, the single would be scoring 2 points instead of scoring a 3-pointer. And because you could this is a winnable game, and I feel like you could shut the Cougars down, run it two plays in 4 points, and that could cut in the lead. And you can't just think, I'm going to get this home run play because, you haven't shot the 3-ball well, and I think that's obvious. I think that's what they're saying. And just making that extra pass under the basket.
When you're a little bit more patience.
Yeah.
Just kind of let the game come to them a bit more. I think, again, this pace has been pretty frantic from both sides, and clearly both teams want to get in transition. That's what they do. But there's still that element of patience that's so important to being successful. So Jackie Williams has one more shot. Cranford with a 12-6 lead. And that one goes in. Williams gets the roll. So she's 3 for 4 from the line today. Vikings trail by 5.
Only a 2-possession game if we look at it in that terms. And that could look better for the Vikings. Just think it's only a 2-possession game. You don't need to, as I said, go for the home run.
DeStefano gets it to Kessler. Back to DeStefano at the top of the key. Guarded by Charlotte Donnelly. You see Cranford being patient in this possession. That's going to be a travel.
Good defense. Everyone took their girl one-on-one, and it was like everybody got their own weight. Everyone had their own weight. There was no one helping. It was great defense, just staying with your girl one-on-one.
Williams gets it to Farrell, and there's going to be a turnover. So county quarterfinals. The Elite 8 of Union County in JV girls basketball. DeStefano. That shot is good. She was on the line.
Mello too?
Cranford by 7. Mello meaning Carmelo Anthony?
Yes. Definitely. Not LaMelo Ball. These kids.
Williams puts it up. No good. And there's going to be a foul. That'll be on Bella Donnelly, her first. The Vikings second in the second quarter. So again, the Vikings coming to this game at 12-1, the number 3 seed in the county tournament. Cranford is the 6th seed. DeStefano. Vanessa Kelly. Casey Kuhn to the basket is fouled.
DeStefano has made some good three-point looks, and Union Catholic is not familiar. Like, they're not familiar with her and kind of like what she does on offense. And I think they're going to get familiar with her, and that's only going to be better for them. If she hit, I think it's only going to help them in the long run if she starts hitting some threes, because now you uncover what she does well.
And DeStefano received the ball under the basket and then stepped out of bounds. So the ball will go. No, it's going to stay.
I think she got pushed. Right?
They called a foul.
Yeah.
And that's the third foul, Jack, on Charlotte Donnelly. So that's a huge call. I thought it was DeStefano losing her balance, but they called a foul on Donnelly, so she sits with 3 fouls. Yeah. That's a backcourt violation.
Yeah, she may have thought that she pushed her in the back to make her go off balance. But I know it's taking.
Didn't look like there was much contact there. That's a huge call. I mean, now she has 3 and has to sit. You would think she's going to sit for the rest of the first half.
Yeah. Now see how much does Coach Green kind of trust her to go out there and not foul, and if she puts her back in.
Benaria goes and retrieves that pass. Farrell with the ball. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Cranford by 7. Lacoma, strong to the hoop, puts it up, no good. And that ball's out of bounds as Vanessa Kelly retrieved it, but she dribbled it on the baseline. So the Vikings will retain possession. Bella Donnelly will inbound.
As I keep saying, good play getting the ball inside.
Deflection there. Turnover. Cranford in transition.
Now this is like a 2-on-1.
Lucoma's there, intercepts it, but she travels.
Even though she traveled, that was like a 3-on-1, and Union Catholic went back and got a good possession out of it.
Yes, it's a good job by UC getting back on defense. That ball's tipped. Shots up, no good. Tipped around again. Cranford comes back with it. DeStefano gets it to Kessler. Kessler. 3-point attempt, no good. Here's Benaria handling it for Union Catholic. Farrell. Nice ball movement. Benaria for 3. Front rim, no good.
That's great basketball. Get the ball inside, draw 2, and live with that result.
Lucoma. Held ball, nice play. possession will stay with Cranford, but a nice play there by Nea Lukoma, the junior, to force the held ball.
Yeah, she's been good so far. Just getting in the paint, and she had one good back down play where I was just screaming, like I was telling you, like let's get the ball in the paint, like let's see what we can work out of it, and they've worked good stuff. Good closeout by Jackie. Or
Jackie Williams. And she travels, so that shot will not count.
as I mean, we're hearing Coach Green yell 2-3, so I don't know. It's definitely the 2-3 zone. So, as we say, we can still hear the coaches. We're not relying any information like cheating. Like we're not doing that because they already played the game, so they're not gonna. That's why NFL players can't watch the broadcast while they play. They can't listen to it, of course. They can only watch it on their iPad.
Farrell with the ball. She kicks it to Lukoma. She slips. That's going to be a travel, so that's unfortunate there for the Vikings that she just slipped on the floor.
Good idea trying to attack the closeout.
Lukoma's played well.
Yeah.
She's playing aggressive.
She's drawing defenders.
Approaching 1 minute to play in the first half. I think Cranford's got more patient on offense. That shot's good. From the corner, Vanessa Kelly puts the Cougars up 9.
And as we say, patience is a virtue. And that's what's going to happen out of that. You're going to get a good mid-range shot. I know those die nowadays, but that could help you. Like in a
Jackie
game like
Williams. Lukoma forces another held ball. And the Vikings can retain possession. That's a big play.
Yeah.
Now with 37 seconds to go in the half. Lukoma again, aggressive play, forces another held ball, and the Vikings keep possession. Bella Donnelly gets it into Benaria. Back to Donnelly. Farrell, top of the key. Farrell misses. Cranford. I'm not going to go in transition. Oh, it's turnover. I thought Cranford might hold for the last shot. And then it's going to go out of bounds and back to Cranford. So if you're Cranford here, you're holding the last shot.
Yeah, I think it gives you even more reason to hold for the last shot because you're taking it out of the other side.
Cougars could take a double-digit lead into the half if they score here.
But I do think get best shot available.
That's deflected. Williams in transition, puts it up. It's good. Jackie Williams, big bucket for Union Catholic. That's going to end the first half.
Big.
So the first half concludes. Cranford with a 7-point lead. Jack, that was absolutely enormous at the end there. Cranford, they get the ball with about 15 seconds left, have a chance to go up double digits. Vikings force another turnover. Williams quick in transition, puts the layup up, and the Vikings are now down 7. So we go into this halftime. What are you focusing on now? You're coach of the Vikings. What do you think Coach Green is now going to say to her team to try to just settle the team down and make a few adjustments, make a couple adjustments going into the second half?
I think that last play was a great indicator of what they're going to try to do in the second half. And they looked way more calm in that transition. Yes, it's Jackie Williams, one of the best girls in that team. But they looked way more calm. Like, everybody was running calmer. Like, they didn't really, like, shiver. Like, they were going to, like, oh, what are you going to do? Are we going to pass the ball? Shoot? No, they went up aggressive. And the game came to them on that play. And it came to Jackie Williams. And it was just a wide-open layup for her.
I think a play like that could be really big psychologically. It was a struggle in the first half. You get into these situations, single elimination, you're a county tournament, the stakes are higher. It's easy to come out and have the game quicken up on you. You need to try to slow it down. It's really in your mind just slowing things down. But, that bucket right there, again, they cut it to 7.
For mental sake, it's only a 3-possession game. So I would try to say that it's only a 3 or 4 possession game.
Yeah, and
just like to think about it that way instead of thinking about you're down by 7. It's a 3 or 4 possession game. You could really come back from that.
Yeah, now you take that positive momentum going to the halftime. So the end of quarters, the end of halves, now the beginning, All right, coaches often talk about that, or you hear in a game, and analysts will say it, how important the end of quarters, end of halves, and then the beginning of quarters and halves. So the Vikings now go into the halftime, go into the intermission, down 7, and we're going to be back in one moment. We're going to be joined by Coach Dyer, the varsity head coach of Union Catholic. Actually, we'll just stay on. We'll give Coach Dyer a headset. Coach, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So we have this quarterfinal matchup here. Vikings down 7, but big bucket there at the end of the half to cut it down to 7. Jackie Williams in transition. So what do you think the first half? What do you think the team needs to do in the second half to come out on top?
I think they need to settle down a little bit. It was very helter-skelter. They're not used to a lot of girls in their face, but I think that, they got it out of their system, and the second half will be better.
So in both teams were getting out in transition a lot, really playing at a fast pace. So when you say settle down, would you keep getting out in transition, or would you play more half-court basketball? Like what?
I would keep pushing up the floor and look to score, but kind of just settle down, meaning, they looked a little bit nervous in the beginning. A lot of them are freshmen, so first time being in any kind of county tournament, being a higher seed, it kind of they're expected to, come out and dominate. So I think, and they're used to winning by a lot. So when you have competition who's coming at you, it gets a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, but I think they'll be fine.
So you're a coach. How do you weigh like the kind of like, we're going fast, but we're turning the ball over, but you still want to go fast, but you want to kind of limit the turnovers, but you still want to go fast, or would you just go pivot just to slow? Like what would you do as a coach?
I would still go fast, but I just tell them keep it simple. Just keep it simple and do what's been working for you. Move to every single pass, look up the floor, make sure you're coming to every single pass. Just keep it simple and do what you've been doing because it's been working.
So then at halftime here, you go in again, you're down 7, you're within reach. I think that bucket at the end was big. Do you build off that? Do you bring up that bucket at the end and say, hey, let's build off that momentum? And then how much do you say to the team? Do you keep it simple at halftime now? And what's the approach? What would you do as the coach right now in the locker room?
You ended on a high note. Let's feed off of that. Just everyone take a breath. You didn't play your game in the first half. You're only down by 7. You've been down by a lot more before. It's easy to come back. You just have to continue to work as a team and do what we've always done.
So, working as a team, do you think that like this team is I lost my train of thought.
So, Coach, so then what about defensively? Let's talk about that. What have you seen defensively from your Vikings? Any adjustments defensively in the second half, or you think pretty much they did what they wanted to do?
I think they're doing a good job. They're being aggressive. They're playing defense. They're boxing out. We have a little bit of foul trouble. That's one of our issues, but that's what comes with being aggressive. So, just keep that intensity, but maybe just take the aggressiveness down a little bit just so that we don't get any, silly fouls.
So as a coach, like those last few minutes of the half, I know we talked about that. How important is that for you to be like, okay, it's 2 minutes left. You gotta play like the biggest 2 minutes of that you ever played in this game, because you have 2 minutes and then we're gonna be done with that half. We're gonna be talking about those 2 minutes a lot because you gotta play big in those 2 minutes.
Yeah. So one thing I stress upon is basketball is a game of runs. You go on a run, the other team goes on a run. So it's kind of what are you going to do to stop their run? So, especially the last 1 to 2 minutes and a half is important because you want to end the half on a high note going on that run so you can transition it to the second half.
So Charlotte Donnelly picked up her 3rd foul. I don't know how much contact there was on that, but she picked up her 3rd foul. To start the second half, do you start her in the second half, or you try to get by for a few minutes since she has 3?
I try to get by for a few minutes just to kind of, you don't want her to get her 4th so quickly and then be out for the whole second half. So I would just kind of try to let her get by for a little bit and then, see what happens.
Do you think it depends on like what player it is? Do you think if it's like a defensive player, like the guy who's gonna go up on you, like be in your face, maybe you'll get another foul? but like or a player that's like kind of shoots the three ball, maybe plays a little bit off on defense. Does it depend on the player if you would play the person with the 3 fouls or not?
It kind of all depends on matchups. Typically, every girl on our team is about the same defensively, aggressive-wise. So it's kind of, Olivia is going to tend to get more fouls, Charlotte, Maddie, because they're aggressive in your face, and a lot of girls can't handle that, so they end up picking up quick ones because the offense has to struggle with the ball, so it looks like they're reaching.
And then quickly, Coach, what's up next for the varsity team?
We have Oak Knoll on Monday, and then Johnson on Tuesday.
You got a third road game next week, I thought I saw?
The following week on the 20th, we go to St. Dom's in Jersey City.
And it'll be time for the state
And
tournament.
then it'll be time for the state tournament.
It's that time of year, tournament time.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Coach Dyer, thank you so much
You're
for joining
welcome.
us. We'll be back in a moment.
Thanks.
Okay, so we are back for the second half. Thanks to Coach Dyer for joining us at halftime. So, again, Cranford is up 16-9 in the county quarterfinals. We are in the JV girls basketball county tournament. So, Jack, we go into the second half. Again, the Vikings are down 7. Jackie Williams, as we said on the halftime show a couple times, that bucket in transition to end the first half to cut the deficit to 7. So how important it is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, self-evident, but how crucial is it in basketball to come out at a halftime and come out strong, particularly when you're trailing?
Yeah, when you're trailing, I think it's big because that team just talked it over. So you're like, okay, we went out big, but the team just talked it over, so it's like there's no real run. I know we said high no, and it's like there's no real run between the halftime to the third quarter. So it's like it's good to get on the first run of the half and to kind of throw the first blow. I know we say it's from the start of the game, but it still happens in the third quarter when you're trying to throw the first blow at a team.
Yeah, and then Coach Dyer said at halftime it's a game of runs. Basketball truly is. So the Vikings will look to come out with a run to start this second half. Cranford gets the first possession of this third quarter. The ball's deflected out of bounds.
And they look calm in the half-court set, which I would expect Union Catholic to kind of get more up into their face and try to get those as we just saw, deflections.
And there is a foul. Looked like it might be a held ball, but instead it's a foul. That's going to be on Jackie Williams. So that's her second. That's UC's first foul of the second half. Three-pointers no good.
Good job running that girl off the ball screen.
That ball is going to go over the backboard, so that shot is missed by DeStefano for Cranford.
Well, when they ran a play for DeStefano where she ran around a ball screen, I think that's what Union Catholic has to look at when they go to next time out. Be like, that's something that we could kind of latch onto and stop. Because she's a pretty good shooter. She has made a lot of those, it might have not been threes, mellow twos, but those are still could be a three. And she's a good shooter from out there. And I think Union Catholic has really noticed that.
Lacoma out to Bella Donnelly. That shot's good.
Get the ball inside, good stuff is going to happen. I know it wasn't a three, but as I said, it doesn't need to be a three. And that was a good mid-range shot that Bella Donnelly can hit.
So Charlotte Donnelly is in to start the third quarter. She has the 3 fouls.
It shows good trust in her from the coach. I think it gets a good message that you're going to have some trust into your player. That gives a good message to the player that the Coach Green has trust in me. And I think just a very good message sent.
And Donnelly there gets the turnover. Williams, there's contact there, no call. Cranford gets the rebound, and that ball's deflected out of bounds by Donnelly, Charlotte Donnelly. So Charlotte Donnelly playing good defense to start this third quarter.
Yeah, I mean I know you said no contact, like you thought it was supposed to be contact, but she did very well getting her hands up, and I think that's very impressive. You know, trying to like go up laterally without fouling. I think that's a very important skill that centers should have. I know centers want to block the ball. I know centers want to have those highlight blocks, but just jumping like with verticality is nice.
That shot is good. Madison Farrell. And it's a 3-point game. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Tough defense.
Ooh,
That's a foul.
That was a really, like, she whipped that pass, like, and that was something that Union Catholic defended good. I mean, she had to throw it like kind of across to the paint.
So the foul is on Bella Donnelly, her second. First free throw no good from Sydney Kessler, the freshman for Cranford. So the Vikings were down 7 at halftime. And they were down 9 right before halftime. So Cranford gets a free throw
How many fouls?
to take a 4-point lead.
How many fouls?
Charlotte Donnelly, ribs out.
How many fouls does Charlotte Donnelly?
Lukoma,
How many fouls does Charlotte Donnelly have?
3.
So why? Oh, never mind. Oh, I mean Isabel.
And there's a foul on Layla Santana for Cranford, her second. That's the second team foul for Cranford. Charlotte Donnelly inbounds. It's in the corner. Jackie Williams retrieves it, gets it out to Madison Farrell. Farrell gets it to Williams. Williams drives, puts it up, no good. Tipped around. Lukoma saves it. Charlotte Donnelly retrieves. Good ball movement. Farrell off the front rim. So Cranford leads by 4. 3 minutes gone by, third quarter. And it goes back to the Vikings. Little jitters from Cranford to start this third quarter.
Yeah, I mean Union Catholic definitely adjusted to try to put more pressure on those half-court offense. I mean, Cranford could just like eat a sandwich in that half court and be done. Like they just let everything happen with no pressure.
Charlotte Donnelly from outside, no good. Williams with the rebound, puts it up, no good. And in the corner, Jackie Williams gets it out to Farrell. So Vikings retain possession. Farrell off the glass, no good. And that's going to be a foul on Williams. So that'll be Williams' third. So the Vikings have 2 players now with 3 fouls, Jackie Williams and Charlotte Donnelly, and they're both on the floor, so they got to be careful.
Yeah.
Do you switch to a zone, maybe to, let's see what they're in.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more zony.
That's off the rim. Foul called. Let's see what's on.
Yeah. Foul is on Cranford.
So that's on Casey Kuhn for Cranford. Her third.
I think I saw her push from the back.
Cranford has 3 team fouls. Donnelly, it's good, a 3-pointer for Charlotte Donnelly. And the Vikings have cut the Cougars' lead to 1. It's 17-16.
The shots will fall.
And a timeout has been called by Cranford. That's a full timeout. So, Jack, quite a start to the third quarter. We're 4.5 minutes in, and the Vikings have cut Cranford's deficit. Have cut Cranford's lead to 1 point. What would have been the keys for Union Catholic in this third quarter to now narrow the gap?
Well, I think they put more pressure on the ball handlers in the half-court set because they used to let them do whatever they wanted. I mean, not whatever they were just passing around just 15 times, and they let the whole clock go off, and then they hit like a mid-range shot. But I think they've been more like in your face, and I think more aggressive defensively. I know 3 fouls, you might be like, oh, they're being more aggressive, but I think they have to. I think that's what they have to, be more aggressive. And also, they've been really smart offensively, getting the ball inside and drawing defenders and kicking it out. And that's just that easy. I mean, Lucoma has been such a threat inside that she's been able to draw defenders. And Donnelly hit a 3, and I said that the 3s will fall. I mean, if you get enough good looks, they'll fall.
So what does Cranford now have to do? They had the 9-point lead towards the end of the first half. Now it's cut to 1. What do they got to do now to get back in a good spot here and go on their own run?
Well, I think the pressure. I don't know if they faced it before. We don't really know a lot about this Cranford team. I don't really know if they faced it before, but it doesn't look like they have. So it's like kind of like, this pressure. You have to like be able to, get them out of this pressure by driving the basket, getting some fouls.
It was almost a 5-second violation. And you have a foul.
Yeah, which is what they just did. Getting a foul. It was obviously that's a foul, but like just them getting inside the paint and just them getting inside, trying to draw fouls to make them get out of that aggressive defense because they don't want to foul anymore.
That foul was on Nao Lucoma. Her first, the team's 4th in this quarter. Casey Kuhn made the first, got a friendly roll. She has one more shot for Cranford. Misses the second. So the Cougars with a 2-point lead.
This Cranford team is getting fouls, and credit to them, they are attacking the basket. So I don't think they're just getting fouls because the whistle likes them. It's just they're really attacking that basket, and credit to them.
Lucoma with the rebound. Out in transition. Oh, Williams can't handle it. The pass from Farrell. Three minutes to go in the third quarter. County quarterfinals. Cranford moving the ball around. Nice ball movement, and Sydney Kessler puts it off the glass to give Cranford a 4-point advantage. Jackie Williams bounce pass to Lucoma.
Cranford in the zone.
Donnelly.
And she's gonna
puts it in.
She's gonna shoot right over that and guess what the pattern is. Lucoma is getting a lot of defenders put on her, and that's letting like the Donnellys get good shots.
Vikings in a zone here. Deflection, Donnelly. Lucoma to Farrell. Vikings could tie it or take the lead. Williams puts it up, spins it in, and the game is tied at 20. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter.
As I said, transition buckets. You don't need to go away with that just because you turn the ball over a few times.
Shots up.
You just got to be smarter.
Charlotte Donnelly gets it to Farrell. Vikings can take the lead. Farrell. Oh, it's intercepted. That's going to be a foul. So that'll be Lucoma's second. Cranford's going to go to the line because the Vikings are over the limit here in the third quarter. So the Vikings, Jack, are on a 13-4 run. They trailed 16 to 7. 13-4 run. Vanessa Kelly, the sophomore, at the line for Cranford. And she gives the Cougars the lead. Olivia Urbafina is back in. She picked up her second foul in the first quarter. This is her first action in this game since the first quarter.
Yeah, she disrupts offensive players. Like, she can get in a lot of passing lanes and disrupt that, and I feel like that's what Union Catholic could need right now.
So 1 of 2. Cranford by 1. 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Jackie Williams. Urbafina to Farrell. Vikings are being more patient now in their offense. Good ball movement. Also good defense from Cranford. Urbafina. Approaching a minute to play in the third quarter. Cranford gets a turnover. Oh, and Farrell's going to pick up a reach-in foul. That's her first, but that's going to send the Cougars to the line. So you really don't want to foul there. One of the teams in a bonus and give them 2 opportunities at the charity stripe. So Casey Kuhn, the freshman, back to the line. Misses the first one. So we got high drama in the quarterfinals, Jack.
Yes, it's a close game. There's stuff on the line. It's not just a regular season game. Like, this is a winner-go-home game, and I think there's the way both JV girls teams want to go out if they lose. Both JV girls, because they played it tough.
Williams. DeStefano came down with the rebound, and Vanessa Kelly passes it back to DeStefano. Cougars by 1. And we're going to have a foul. Urbafina. Cranford back to the line. That's Urbafina's third. So the Vikings have 3 players with 3 fouls, as Layla Santana gets 2 shots for Cranford. Front rim, misses the first one. So free throws are so crucial. They're going to become even bigger, Jack, as we progress in this game. Santana with the second shot. Front rim as well. But Cranford retains possession. They get the offensive rebound.
As well as those 50-50 balls on the rim.
Three-pointer, it's good. Sienna DeStefano gives Cranford a 4-point lead. Time winding down in the third quarter. Urbafina to Williams. Williams, no good. Bella Donnelly misses. Charlotte Donnelly in the paint, puts it up, no good. Time winding down in the quarter. Urbafina misses front rim, and that concludes the third quarter. So a lot of action there to finish up the third period. And Cranford, they have a 4-point lead as we go to the final quarter of this game, the final 8 minutes of regulation. So, Jack, the Vikings trailed by 7 going into the third quarter, going into the second half. They now trail by 4. So, overall, successful quarter for the Vikings.
Yes, I think it's a successful quarter. And they were, like, it was a tie game, so they kind of, like, slipped it out of their fingers a little bit. But they're being way more, they're being way more careful with the ball. And I feel like when they get in those half-court sets, just swing it around until you find a good shot.
It's exactly what Coach Dyer said at halftime. Slow the game down. And she said not slow it down in terms of not getting out in transition. That's what the Vikings do, and they do it well. But just slowing it down, particularly in your mind. I think of John Wooden, the famous basketball coach, arguably the best college basketball coach of all times, all the NCAA championships at UCLA. He used to say, be quick, but don't hurry. So you want to play quick, right? Vikings like to get out in transition. Be quick, but just slow it down a bit. You don't want to rush. You don't want to hurry and get yourself in a situation where you're being careless with the basketball. But again, the Vikings made adjustments. They settled down in the third quarter, and they go into the fourth quarter with an opportunity. It's up for grabs here. 4-point game going to the 8 minutes of this final quarter.
Yes, I mean, it is up for grabs, but I think this game is going to come down to the wire. And it's going to come out to who wants to be more careful with the ball, because There's gonna be a lot more half-court plays when you get down to the meat of this game, like the meat of the bone of this game. There's gonna be a lot more half-court possessions.
Urbafina. Charlotte Donnelly puts it up. She's had the hot hand here in the second half. Cougars by 2. So important to come out and make a shot right out of the gate in the fourth period. Oh, there's a foul. Oh, and the 3 is good. Sienna DeStefano has a chance for a 4-point play. How did she make that shot?
I mean, that was great. That was a play that was kind of broken, and she was wide open. Again, a little overzealous with the closeout, but she deserved that as she made that 3.
Free throw rims out. We're going to have a foul.
At least if you're the Vikings, at least the time is kind of off. Well, I mean, I was going to say as they go to the line, but at least the time is kind of halted.
That was Olivia Urbafina's 4th foul. So Jackie Williams comes out of the game. Urbafina stays in. Nea Lucoma is back in. That shot is good. It's called a 3. I thought she was on the line, but nevertheless, it's called a 3. Sienna DeStefano, back-to-back 3-pointers on the same possession. So now Cranford by 8. Lucoma, pass is deflected out of bounds, stays with the Vikings. Jack, I thought she had a foot in the she had her foot on the line there in the corner. But there's no replay.
Well, it's the Katie.
We can go back on the live stream and take a look at it.
What does she have? Katie shoes?
Yeah, the play from the playoffs a few years ago with the Nets and the Bucks. So Jack, man, Cranford gets 6 points on 1 possession with 2 3-pointers. So what do the Vikings got to do right now? Charlotte Donnelly comes out, hits the jumper, cuts the tube. Now it's 8. What do you tell the team right now with 7 minutes to play?
I mean, I think she's got to go back to the possession where DeStefano misses that free throw and you don't get the board. And that's just a coach's kind of nightmare. You don't get that board, you don't win the 50-50 ball, and you let them get another possession where, of course, DeStefano hits another 3. But I think that the coach doesn't look at that, and they look at, we could have got the ball. We could have got the ball after she missed the free throw. And those are kind of 50-50 plays that, as I said in the start of the game, will decide the game. And it has decided this game so far, but I think Union Catholic can still come back, but they just got to win those 50-50 balls that will help them.
Yeah, there's a crucial possession here. Get a bucket. Nice play there. The out-of-bounds set. Lucoma misses it, and DeStefano controls it for Cranford. So Cranford by 8. That's 6-point possession. Stefano left open for 3, and she's fouled again from 3. That's going to be on Madison Farrell, her second. Team second here.
Yeah, I mean.
Excuse me, third in the fourth quarter. So 3 shots for DeStefano.
She was open, and then Madison tried to run over. And when you run over, you don't really end up like getting an actual contest. You end up getting a foul.
She makes the second, has 1 more. So DeStefano could put Cranford up by double digits here. 6.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Misses the second, so she makes 1 out of 3. Cougars by 9. Farrell. There's a turnover. Cranford in transition. Kessler. Vikings in a zone. That's a travel. So the Vikings were in a 2-3, and I heard Coach Green say 3-2. So she wanted to have 3 defenders up on the perimeter.
Yes, because they've just been making some shots, man. They haven't really proved that they can score in the paint. It's just been DeStefano from 3.
Bella Donnelly, it goes in, gets the roll. Cuts the Cougars' lead to 7. Vikings needed that.
The Vikings are not going to go away.
Coach Green calls for the 3-2, playing the perimeter. And a timeout is called by Cranford. So, Jack, Cranford has been successful from the outside. Again, that 6-point possession. DeStefano hitting those 2 threes. So, Coach Green's going with the 3-2 zone. What are the keys to being successful in the 3-2 zone?
I think the keys are you gotta limit the 3-point baskets, and I think the paint you're gonna live with because, as I said, they haven't really hit any shots in the paint. It's been DeStefano from 3, and they've been leaving DeStefano kind of wide open, which caused a run over. And when you run over, you're usually gonna be in a landing space when she takes that shot. But they gotta be quicker in guarding her, of course. And I think that the paint. I think 2 defenders can take away that paint. I think it's just kind of limiting DeStefano. So she has to make that big basket. A 3 would put a dagger in her probably instead of like a 2-pointer.
So is there more communication involved in a zone versus man-to-man? Is it even more important to communicate when you're in a zone defense?
It feels like it's like the Coach Green is like pulling a string on the puppets. Like they all have to be like in kind of in line with each other and like moving when they move. So it's more of like communicate. Like she's behind you, she's behind you. And while you're in a zone, even though you really are defending an area, you have to like. I'm coming out now. Now you have to take my man inside.
And they're playing a high zone.
Yeah.
Shot for the corner. And it's a go to the Vikings. So a very good job by Union Catholic on that possession.
Yeah, because somebody can sneak back door because you're running a zone, but you're going to be the one to call out like here. Like she's there, behind you, because.
And you have to play a high zone. You can't sit back now. Fourth quarter, you got to put the pressure on. They did a fantastic job on defense. But a turnover there, and we have a foul. It's going to be on Farrell. Farrell thinks it's all a ball. It's close. So that's Farrell's 3rd. Casey Kuhn to the line for Cranford. She's been to the line a few times today, the freshman. Makes the first. Cranford by 8. A little over 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. And she makes both, so Cranford by 9. Farrell. Urbafina gets the ball. Lacoma misses the shot from the foul line. Under 5 to play. DeStefano has come up big in this fourth quarter for Cranford. Good play there by Donnelly. Bella Donnelly forces the held ball. Waiting to see whose ball it is. The officials talking. It's going to stay with Cranford. Stefano down low, and a foul is called. It's going to be on Bella Donnelly, her 2nd. So the Vikings are over the limit. It was a shooting foul. So foul shots regardless. DeStefano to the line, back to the line for 2. First one is in, so Cranford now with a double-digit lead at 34-24. Jack, do the Vikings got to shoot from 3 now because of the deficit and the time?
I think, yeah, but if you get a better shot inside, then take it. But I do think a 3 would be a big momentum booster, but I wouldn't go away from the 2s. I don't think it's that much of a desperation time. But if you get a 3 that's semi-wide open, take your chances. Try to cut into the deficit.
We have a foul on Cranford. We have number 4, Layla Santana. her third, and that's Cranford's first of the fourth quarter. Charlotte Donnelly inbounding on the baseline to Urbafina. Dribbles in the lane and loses the hand. That's a travel. So the Vikings get it back. So Cranford by 11 in this county quarterfinal matchup. The winner gets the winner of Scotch Plains Fanwood, who's the 2 seed, and Elizabeth, who's the 7 seed. Urbafina from the elbow misses it. Bella Donnelly rebound, gets it to Charlotte Donnelly, no good. Cranford, DeStefano handles it. Approaching 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Halfway through this fourth period. Shots up, no good, but another offensive rebound for Cranford, and it's good. Casey Kuhn with the bucket and has a chance for a traditional three-point play.
That's a 50-50 ball, and I feel like the game's slipping away because of those kind of rebounds. I mean, not just because of that. I mean, there's way more factors, but, you know, there's a lot of plays where they could have got that board and they could have kind of shut down the lead a little bit.
Three-point play completed by Casey Kuhn. And it's good. Madison Farrell off the glass. She'll have a chance to complete a three-point play.
That's as quick as a basket you can possibly get right here. And that's as beautiful as a way to, you know, manage this game when you're down by 13 with about 4 minutes left.
Foul is on Vanessa Kelly, her third. Misses the free throw. There's a scrum and a held ball. It's going to be Vikings ball.
Oh.
The Vikings down 12 with about 3.5 to play. Charlotte Donnelly on the baseline. Tipped by Urbafina, controlled by Bella Donnelly. Bella puts it up, no good. And we're going to have a foul. Cranford's going to go to the line. I believe that is Farrell's 5th. Let's see. No, it is Bella Donnelly's 4th. So Bella Donnelly's 4th foul. Cranford in the bonus. So we have Jackie Williams and Kaylee Benaria come in for Naya Lucoma and Bella Donnelly. Darren Momoro is in for Cranford. Casey Kuhn makes 1 of 2. Cranford with a 13-point lead. Farrell gets it to Charlotte Donnelly. Farrell puts it up, no good. Out of bounds, it's going to stay with the Vikings. Urbafina puts it up, no good. Williams offensive board, and she's fouled. So weak side rebound for Williams. Cranford foul on Sydney Kessler, her 2nd. Team's 3rd of this quarter. Jackie Williams shoots 2. And she makes the 1st. Exactly 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Second one rims out. DeStefano controls it for Cranford. Good defense by Williams, but Cranford retains possession. Cranford being patient here and wasting clock. And there's a steal. Farrell up ahead to Urbafina. Oh, no good. Vikings needed that one, but instead they get a foul, and Cranford's going to go back to the line.
So you see Coach Green in the last play yelling at our team, get up, get up. And what that means is that she wants to put as much pressure on the basketball as possible in a situation like this, so they don't just dribble the ball out of the they don't just dribble the air out of the ball for the like last minute of the game. Last minutes of the game.
So Darren Mamaro, the freshman at the line for Cranford, 2 shots. That was the 5th foul on Olivia Urbafina. So Urbafina fouls out of the game. Second shot is good. Cranford by 13. Farrell handles for the Vikings. Donnelly to Donnelly. Shot is up, it's good. Bella Donnelly. Cranford by 11. Vikings got a foul, right, or get a steal?
Yeah.
And that is going to go back to the Vikings, so.
That's why you hear Coach Green profusely saying, like, let's get up, let's get up, let's get up.
Best case scenario there, getting a turnover quickly. So you got to go for 3 now?
Yeah.
Or are you still?
I think so. Unless you get like a quick 2, like the floater that we had a few possessions ago.
Williams gets fouled. She's so good getting to the basket. So that foul's going to be Cranford's number 1, Sydney Kessler, her 3rd. Vikings will inbound. Cranford has 14 fouls. Donnelly to Donnelly, and Bella Donnelly puts it in, cuts the lead for Cranford to single digits. Pressure. Oh, we're going to get a foul. Cranford was trying to call timeout. Their coach was yelling for a timeout. Instead, a foul is called. And that's going to be the 5th on Jackie Williams. The Cranford coach was calling for the timeout there. The refs did not give it to her. Instead, you get the foul on Williams.
Well, I don't think she wanted it after the foul. She didn't really want it at all. She was just wanting it as like a desperation timeout.
Well, the Vikings were putting the pressure on there, so she was calling the timeout before that foul. So unfortunately for the Vikings, she didn't get the timeout because now Williams is out of the game as she picked up her 5th. So Cranford double-digit lead. They're up 10. 90 seconds to play. Benaria. Donnelly is deflected. Donnelly gets it back. Donnelly keeps her pivot foot. Excuse me, that was Farrell. Farrell kept her pivot foot. Charlotte Donnelly puts it in. Big bucket there. Cuts the Cranford lead to 8. Pressure by the Vikings. And there's a foul. They needed to give a foul as we go just under a minute to play in the 4th. It's going to be on Lucoma. That's her 3rd foul. Casey Kuhn back to the line. Misses the first. Cranford by 8. Quarterfinals of the county tournament. Second one's good. Cranford by 9. Farrell. Charlotte Donnelly for 3. Off the back rim. Secured by Cranford. Vikings got a foul here. They're not going to foul. In the corner, DeStefano for 3. It's good. DeStefano has had the hot hand from downtown as Cranford goes up 12. Benaria puts up a three off the front rim. Farrell's there. Blocked. Cranford secures. The ball goes out of bounds, so 6 seconds left. So Cranford's going to advance to the semifinals of the county tournament. They come here to Union Catholic as a 6th seed and get a big win. So the time winds down, and that ends it. So in the county quarterfinals, final score is a Cranford Cougars 45, Union Catholic Vikings 33. So again, Cranford's going to advance to the semifinals of the Union County tournament. They're going to take on the winner of the 2-seed Scotch Plains Fanwood and the 7-seed Elizabeth. So, Jack, Cranford victorious today. What were the keys for them to get this quarterfinal victory on the road against a very good Vikings team?
Turnovers and being able to get inside and draw the fouls. I think that really, got the players into foul trouble, and then they played less aggressive, and they were able to get into a set. It's not saying the refs gave them the calls. I'm not saying that at all, because I'm giving them credit to say that they got inside, and they were able to draw the fouls and be able to use their maybe a little bit of speed they have and try to get inside and see if they can get past the defender and see if they can get a foul.
So, I believe the JV team, our Vikings, have a few games left. Coach Dyer, when she was on halftime, told us about the upcoming schedule for the varsity. They have 3 road games coming up. So I think the JV does have some more games here, regular season games, to conclude this 2023-2024 season. So it's been a very good year for the JV girls Vikings basketball team. 12-2 now on the season. Obviously a disappointing loss today. But you, Coach Jack, what would you tell the team now after the game, the disappointment of the loss, but finishing the season strong, is very good season? What do you tell the team in terms of what they need to do to turn the page and finish out this campaign on a good note?
This was a very good team, but I understand that, the frustration of, you were giving the ball too much to the other team. You were turning the ball over. And out to my team, yes, that's simple fact. If we don't turn the ball over and we don't foul that much, this game could be ours. And I think let's do things that are easy to shore up. Get in practice. We have more practice we can work on, getting transition, trying to run those breaks without maybe throwing it across. Like maybe do so we don't throw it across, the court, and or we don't throw some silly turnovers. We can take care of the ball. Just those little things. Just get the rebound. Maybe just push it with the player who gets the rebound, or give it to Jack, give it to somebody, and then just start running. Just get a little bit of that, transition. Just get a little bit of that, get a little bit more decisive in who you're going to get the ball to and how you're going to get the ball up in transition.
And it's all learning experience. I mean, obviously it's tough to lose. You don't want to lose. The Vikings have had a very good season, now 12-2. So you want to go forward, and you're always looking to improve. The JV level is about development, and you're learning how to win for sure. It's a big part of it, and you go out there and you play to win. So again, the disappointment of today, but certainly should not lose sight of how good this season has been. We've seen this team play and play very well. They've been terrific in the home games. We've seen all the home games. A lot of dominant games for the Vikings. So there's so much positive from this season. So you want to now, again, it's moving forward, turning the page, and finishing the season on a high note. And Cranford, again, props to them. Did a great job today coming on the road and getting this win in the quarterfinals and advancing to the semifinals of the Union County tournament. So, Jack, we're going to sign off now. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's game. Look ahead. Again, the basketball season continues on. There's some more regular season games. The boys basketball team, the varsity, is in the county tournament quarterfinals tomorrow. They're playing Westfield. That is at the Dunn Center, Elizabeth, I believe, at 1:30 start. And also, the JV boys team, they won their first round county matchup at Elizabeth a couple days ago. So they're going and playing top-seeded Linden tomorrow morning at Linden, I believe, at the 10 a.m. game. So there's some more county tournament action to look forward to. Again, some more regular season games coming up. And then we're going to get to the state tournament in a couple weeks as well. So it's an exciting time here in the high school basketball season. So for Jack Yablonowitz, Ryan Florek, Saeed Coburn, Andrew Murphy, I'm Mr. Aranio. Again, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you soon.